Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for this webinar on Microsoft Loop for project managers. My name is David, and I'm excited to guide you through your first steps towards using Loop effectively, hopefully effectively. A little bit about who we are. We're Advisicon, and here at Advisicon, we help organizations achieve greater impact by leveraging any kind of work management technologies to accomplish more with less. As work management consultants and technology specialists, our focus is on streamlining processes, improving systems, and achieving better outcomes. And that's why we're going to show you Loop today, because it is going to help you with your work management to accomplish more with less, I do believe. Today's agenda. We're going to have an introduction to Microsoft Loop. I'm assuming that the people that are watching this are just now becoming familiar with Loop. So this is an introduction to Loop. We're going to look at Loop in action. We're going to actually look at Teams and Outlook integration, how they integrate in there, how you can find them within Teams and Outlook. And then we're going to talk about just streamlining your project tasks with Loop, using Loop to help you with your project management. Then we'll have a wrap up and some next steps after that. So who am I? A little bit about myself. My name is David Oswald. I'm a project advisor here and automation specialist at Advisicon. I do have a background in engineering and manufacturing. I'm experienced in data analysis and a lot of Excel experience and a lot of project management experience, taking that technical and putting it into project management and automating a lot of project management type tasks. So let's get started. Let's jump into this and see what we have. And let's take a moment to see what Microsoft Loop really is all about. Microsoft Loop is a collaboration tool that gives you this unified workspace to work on projects in real time. It integrates with Microsoft 365. A lot of the Microsoft 365 suite, it just integrates with, and that's going to be one of the exciting things that we're going to see today, and hopefully just open your eyes to how you can use Loop. It's designed to help teams, help you create together and do things together. Loop actually provides a unified workspace, so it does give you a workspace that you can work on projects in real time, but it also is more than that. It kind of is some glue between the different Microsoft 365 offerings that are out there. A lot of people say, I already use Microsoft Teams. I've got this team space that I can work with in Microsoft Teams, and I'm already used to that and do that. And I just, so people want to know, well, how's it different than Teams? And while Microsoft Teams is it's excellent for communications, meeting, general collaboration, Microsoft Loop, however, offers more specialized tools for real-time document collaboration, integrated task management, seamless cross-application functionality across the Microsoft 365 ecosystem. And really, using Loop alongside of Teams can enhance your overall productivity. It just gives you a more comprehensive and deeply embedded approach to managing projects. I kind of like to think of Loop as Teams, the Teams platform mixed with the already powerful real-time collaboration of Microsoft, but all of that on steroids. So let's take a look real quick here at kind of some of the backbone of what is Loop, kind of a little bit behind the scenes look at how Loop interacts with the Microsoft ecosystem. And here's a look at some of the interactions. As you see this slide, where data is actually stored for these interactions. As usual, SharePoint, you can see here in the big gray circle in the middle, is the epicenter of the interactions. Most of Microsoft 365 is built around SharePoint. We've talked about that in other webinars. And so again, that's what we see here. But you see Loop has used this to allow Loop to interact with Teams channels, Teams channel meetings, team chat files, Outlook, Teams meetings, and many of the other Microsoft 365 platforms that rely on SharePoint as its data sources. All right, let's jump in and talk a little bit about the key features of Microsoft Loop. These are the three main elements of Loop. There's components, and components are really the building blocks of Loop. That's where Loop can talk to the other parts of Microsoft 365, and that's where it gets its power, is these components. You can have planner boards, task lists, Kanban boards, notes, status trackers, voting, all of these components that go into Loop is kind of a building block that allows you then to use this across the whole platform. And that's where the power really derives in Loop. On top of components, Loop also includes pages, which are just canvases to organize your components. You don't have to use pages in workspaces, but that's the extended power of Loop. You could use the components just within the current Microsoft 365 ecosystem without pages and workspaces. But when you add pages and workspaces. Workspaces is just an environment to group pages and other components into one area. Then that's where the power of project management comes in, where you can then have your team come to one place, look at the different pieces that they need to have, and interactively collaborate together into one workspace. All right. Now that we've kind of got that as a level set, let's look at Loop in action. I want to show you a little bit about how Loop integrates with Teams and then how it integrates with Outlook. And Loop has been sitting out there waiting for you to come in and learn how to use it. And so we'll start by looking at how Loop integrates with Teams. So if I start a chat, let's say, and I start typing a message, you see some items here on the on your message where you're typing it in. You're all familiar with the emojicons because we all hit that and give a thumbs up or a like or a smiley face. But to the right of that is a little loop symbol, and that little loop symbol says, hey, I can add a loop component here in Teams. If you click on that, you will get a list of loop components that you can add to this particular chat that you're in. And you see all the different items that are here, and Microsoft is adding others as things progress. But right now, here's the list. We're going to look at a task list. We're going to come in here. We're going to click on task list. You can follow along if you want to. Open up your chat. Go to a Teams chat and click on the loop button, and then we're going to click on a task list. What it does is it embeds a task list, a Microsoft task list, right in the chat. From here, I can start putting in tasks. I can start assigning my tasks to different people, put a due date. I can add all of this right in my Teams chat window. And as I do this, I can fill this in. It's building this task list. Once I've got it built the way I want it, I can click the send button down here, and this particular loop component, which we've just built, will be sent to my recipient. In this case, Scott Allen will be getting my loop component here. Once I send it, the neat thing about this is at this point, Scott Allen can start interacting with this particular loop component, and I will actually see what he's typing. So here he is. Scott, when he received this, he started to put add more tasks, and I can see it right here. I can see him typing, and he's typing in what needs to be done. He presses enter, and I actually get a little notification in my notification window that says, hey, a task has been assigned to you. And it's very interactive. Now, I know that you could also do this in a task list, but the interactive ability there isn't quite as deep as when you're doing it in a Teams chat like this. So you can do these task lists right on the fly, and both of you collaborate together to work on that. So that's one way that you can integrate a loop component into a Teams chat. So now I want to take a look at how we can integrate a loop component into Outlook. In Outlook, and it's been sitting there waiting for you to come and take a look at it. But if you create an email, you'll see the loop component in the ribbon. It's grayed out at first because you have to click down here in the body before it becomes ungray. So once I start typing my email, though, I can grab my loop component, and you see the items that I can put in. I can put a bulleted list. I can put in a checklist. We're going to put in a paragraph. This is I've been working with Scott on this project, and so now I'm going to ask Scott to help me with the status report for our project. And I'm just going to put a paragraph in there. I click on paragraph, and it tells me that I've got a loop component, and that it's going to be interactive when I send this to my recipient, and anything they change, I will be able to see as well. So I'm going to start typing my status report. I said, hey, Scott, help me with the status report. Here's what I have so far. Here's my status report. Can you take a look at it? And just the collaboration of working together through this email chain, and anything he updates here will also be updated for me, and I will be able to see that. And this paragraph lives as a loop component. And that's where the power comes in. I told you about the power of the loop component. The loop component helps with that. Now, I know I could have created a Word document, and I could have gone out there and started this Word document, and then I could have saved it to my OneDrive and then shared it with Scott, and then sent Scott the link, and then Scott could have come in and we could be working on this in Word, let's say. That's the power of Microsoft collaboration already. But this just takes it up a notch. I can take this paragraph, which is kind of like my Word document, send it, and we're both collaborating right here in a loop component. So, and you can see I have here Scott has come in and started working in this paragraph that I did. Any of his changes I will see, I can use, and it will be part of this loop component. All right. So that kind of shows you the power of a loop component. And like I say, that's the heart of loop, or these components that really are a bridge between the Microsoft 365 apps and tools that are out there. So let's talk about streamlining your project tasks with loop. And we've seen how to create loop components in the Teams chat and Outlook, and really discovered the power they have in real-time collaboration. But this power can be taken a step further when we pull these components into a landing space that can be used for you as a project manager to pool all of this information and collaboration into one place. And really it helps with all of these items which are essential for your managing your project. And that's where we start with pages and workspaces. So you can go into Loop, and that's something that you would, if you're when you're at your Microsoft 365, it's available right up there in the little waffle up there in the upper left-hand corner, and you should see it down here in your list of apps. If not, you can search for it, of course, and find Loop. When you choose the Loop app, this brings up where you have your pages and workspaces. From here, it'll be blank when you first open it. There may be a welcome one that's out there for you, but this is where you can start creating your workspaces and your pages. You just click on in the upper left-hand corner, create new workspace, let's say, and this is going to be like your workspace for your project. Pages can go in a workspace, and they can be for specialized pieces of your project or different areas of focus. But our workspace, we can name our workspace. We can change the icon of our workspace. You can even change the picture that's going to be up here, and then you can start inviting people. Share your space with those that need to have access to this, to your project team, your project managers, etc. And then it will create you a workspace. So there's your workspace. This is where you will start, and I'm not going to dig into how to do this. This will be an assignment for you to take after this webinar and say, how can I dig into this and create those, add those components here. And this is where you'd add your components. You can add paragraphs. You can add planner boards, different things to here. And you can end up with a very robust landing space for your project participants, project managers, and team that can be a great landing place. But I did want to show you that once you've created your workspace and or your pages, you can share them. When you hit share, that's where you will be able to add different members. And this is where you can get a copy of the link to this workspace and then send it out if needs be, and or put it as one of your favorites, and you can come back to that particular workspace. And so this is how you would create the workspace. And those Loop components that we saw with Teams and Outlook, this is where they would live. It's the basis for the workspaces and the pages. As we wrap up this journey, of Loop and what's out there, let's just talk about some of the things that we've discussed and some next steps. So let's wrap up. Loop gives you enhanced collaboration. I mean, it's like I said, it's like Teams and the collaboration of the already powerful Microsoft 365 collaboration space on steroids. It's gives you integrated workflows. You can seamlessly incorporate these with Teams and Outlook. And other Microsoft 365 components to really integrate the whole process. And it gives you an efficient task management and project management area. So let's talk about some of the next steps. From here, what I want you to do, hopefully I gave you enough about Loop to say, I'm not afraid of it. I want to go take a deeper dive. I want to use it now. So next step, get your hands on, get your hands dirty and play around with it. Maybe talk to one of your coworkers and say, hey, let's play around with Loop a little bit. I'm going to give you a task list in Teams, or I'm going to send you an email with a voting table or a matrix that we can fill out, and just play around with the power of Loop. Next thing, explore resources. There's plenty of resources out there about Loop, Microsoft documentation, there's community forums, but I think really as you start to play around with Loop and start to build your own Loop workspaces and pages, you're going to find out how easy it is to collaborate with the team. And then finally, connect. Connect with us at Advisicon if you need to give you additional coaching and implementation help. We're here to help, and that's one of the things we love to do is train and help others. So thanks for watching this webinar. If you have any questions or need further clarification, reach out to us. Your engagement with us on these webinars is valuable for us, and hopefully this has been a valuable lesson for you to get you started on Loop that can help you with your project management. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.